So many people love the Port Orleans French Quarter Resort at Disney World, but are Beignets and its compact size enough to sway the naysayers? Our team's going to debate whether this is the best or worst hotel in Disney World. Hey everybody, it's Chris for AllEars TV and AllEars.net. We're working our way through Disney World's hotels to decide which hotels are the best and the worst, and which ones are perfect for you. Today we're talking about Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter Resort, and we got this info straight from you. And our cast has lots of opinions on this New Orleans experience in Florida.
So Port Orleans has two sister resorts, right? You've got the Riverside, and then you've got French Quarter, right? Out of the two, French Quarter is probably my favorite out of the two. Just because it's the theming. I love like the New Orleans vibe, and it's very Mardi Gras and, you know, Princess and the Frog or whatever. You know, it makes me feel like I want to go have a cocktail. I usually always want to have a cocktail, but it just makes me feel that way.
Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter is a moderate resort, which is Disney speak for mid-priced. It's on the smaller side compared to other Disney hotels in the same price range, and it's easily walkable even to its sister resort, Port Orleans Riverside. This hotel is themed around the city of New Orleans, and we have two words for you: Mickey Beignets. Are you sold already? Well, if so, you must know that bus transportation is the only option to Disney parks, which isn't always ideal.
French Quarter is a big time favorite for a reason. It's a moderate resort, but it is a little bit smaller, even smaller than its sister resort, Riverside. You are also going to get some really fun New Orleans style theming. So it's just a overall really pretty, beautiful resort. Not a ton of Disney theming throughout, so that is one thing to keep in mind. If you have a kid that really wants to stay where they feel surrounded by Disney, this might not necessarily be the top resort pick.
I wouldn't necessarily choose to stay here. Similar to what I said about Riverside, I wouldn't usually stay at French Quarter either, even though I like the vibes. I would rather just take a boat ride through it. I don't need to stay there. It's just because it's like missing something. I don't know if it's like just a tad stale. It's missing some like Disney magic. Cue magic effect.
Ooh, Port Orleans is a popular hotel. Like, I mean it. It is a seriously popular hotel. For AllEars readers, it is the best rated moderate. It's only below Copper Creek Villas, Wilderness Lodge, and Animal Kingdom Lodge. So it's only below some deluxes, and it's above most deluxes. People love French Quarter. You guys love French Quarter. And I get it. I'll be honest. It's a really cool resort. It is themed to be obviously themed to the French Quarter of New Orleans. It's got kind of a Mardi Gras theme going on all around the resort, and the rooms are pretty nice, so I definitely get it. Also, French Quarter is on the small side, whereas like somewhere like Riverside is a lot bigger. They do share buses, but French Quarter is on the small side, so you get kind of a small capsulated feel, but you can still branch out and go to Riverside or go over to Disney Springs if you want some food. Like, there's still a lot of access there.
The average cost of a standard room is somewhere between $200 to $500, making it a more reasonable, moderate Disney World hotel, and the resort is much more walkable than other more spread out moderate resorts. But there's also a long internal bus loop because the bus also services Riverside, which means it can add quite a bit of time to your commute to a Disney park. There is, however, the option to hop on the Sassagoula River Cruise to get to Disney Springs.
It's a moderate resort, so the prices aren't terrible. There's only buses, which I don't love. So buses are fine, they get you to where you need to go. However, this resort has an internal bus loop, which if you've never stayed at a resort that has an internal bus loop, then you are blessed, because sometimes the bus loops can be a little what's the word I'm looking for? Not fun. You could be waiting, 20, 30 minutes for a bus, and by the time the bus actually gets to you, that bus could be full, and they might not let anybody else on the bus, and you have to wait for another one.
I
I love how like small and compact it is. I know that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that, but it makes me feel cozy, it makes me feel safe, makes me feel at home. I also love the food. I think they have some really great hidden gems over there.
Dining options include one major perk at French Quarter, and that's the Mickey Beignets at the Scat Cafe. Other than that, there aren't many places to eat other than the Sassagoula Floatworks and Food Factory or Mardi Gras for snacks. You can opt to take a walk or take a Sassagoula boat ride to Riverside for more food options, or alternatively, take the boat to Disney Springs for even more shopping and some of the area's best dining.
Oh my gosh, the Mickey Beignets. I love those Mickey Beignets. First of all, fried dough. Who doesn't love fried dough? When I filmed my resort tour at Port Orleans French Quarter, which if you want to learn more about the hotel, you can go see me review it. Room tour and everything. Room tour, Mickey Beignets, we see the pools, we see it all. Go check that out. But also when I ate my Mickey Beignets there, it's a little behind the scenes info for you. I ate all 3 of them in like under 10 minutes. And then I got the worst stomachache ever. My stomach hurt so bad. It felt like I had eaten air, and I was like, oh, why? It did not feel good.
Yes, Quincy, the Mickey Beignets are delicious. However, when you think of New Orleans, you're like, oh, okay, we're gonna get some good eats. There are like no other really like nice, interesting places to eat. You know, there are a couple places, but they're not like, oh, yes, Mardi Gras, New Orleans, yes, food. But with that all being said, which is why, I like the boat ride, because I would just take the boat to Disney Springs and then have a good time.
While there are not a ton of dining options at French Quarter, that's kind of okay because you have Riverside right nearby, which is going to have a few more dining options for you. Not to mention you are just a simple boat ride away from Disney Springs, and Disney Springs is going to open up some of the best dining options in all of Disney World to you. So if you're willing to travel just a little bit further, you'll be okay.
Okay, so what do All Ears readers think? Reader M. Feist said, "We loved this resort. It's nice and small, so everything feels nearby. We had a Riverview room, and it was so nice and peaceful to walk out of the room and have that view."
I have to completely agree with you guys. Like, our AllEars.net readers, you guys just know what's going on. You guys just get it. I think we connect, because I have to completely agree. I think that this is one of the most just peaceful and calm resorts. I think that's why I like it so much. Y'all know I'm not the loudest. I try to be sometimes, but I'm just chill. I just am. And so to find a resort that is so chill, and it's just not loud and it's quiet, like it's so relaxing. And I know Disney is a fun, big vacation and you're like constantly running, but sometimes, like after the park or in between park days, I love to just chill. And to have a nice, quiet resort is absolutely like chef's kiss to me. Like that is a top tier resort.
Reviewer Mariette said, "I like that it is not large and is easy to get around, especially after a long day at the park. It is a nice walk over to the Port Orleans Riverside, which takes us about 10 minutes.
Now at Port Orleans French Quarter specifically, there's not a whole lot of dining options. However, it is a quick walk to Riverside, which get a whole nother side of the resort with more dining options. But the best part about Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter is that they're both so close to Disney Springs, which just gives you endless amounts of dining. Okay, it was not written in the script for me to talk about Mickey Beignets, but I'm going to talk about Mickey Beignets, all right? There were multiple times during my Disney College program where my roommate and I, we'd wake up, a random day, wake up and say, you know what? I want some Mickey Beignets. Do you want some Mickey Beignets? Yeah, I want Mickey Beignets. Let's go get them. And we did. And we would just drive over there, and that was our breakfast. And I'm not ashamed to admit that that happened more than once. And you know what? If you want to do that on your Disney vacation, you can. No one is stopping you. In fact, can I come? Can I come with you? Because I would love to eat Mickey Beignets at any time.
On the flip side, an anonymous reader said, "Not the best food, but you can go to Riverside and eat there." And Hale said it's not as decorated as some of the other resorts.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they focus too much on the architecture and not enough on the decor and tying everything together to be one cohesive resort. maybe that's it. Maybe it just feels a little unfinished.
Here's what I found.
Siri agrees.
I wouldn't say that the food is bad at French Quarter. There just aren't a ton of options. But that being said, you're so close to Disney Springs and also to Riverside, so it's not as if you are going to starve.
I also really love eating at Scat Cat Lounge, Scat Cat Club, which there's like the Scat Cat Cafe, which is where you can get the beignets, but it's actually like a sit-down lounge. It's walk up, it's not reservation, but you like sit down or have a server come to your table at the Scat Cat Club, and there's usually live jazz music. I love eating there. The food is amazing. I had an oyster po' boy flatbread. It's not on the menu anymore, but ooh, it was good. It was so good. I love oysters. And then also I had boudin balls. I always say it wrong. I'm so sorry, Louisianans. I don't even think I said that right. How do you say boudin? Boudin. Oh, I am saying it right. Okay. I had boudin balls, which were very good. They were like, you know, it was like rice and sausage balls. Oh, so good. I've really enjoyed everything I've eaten at that lounge. I love a lounge dinner in Disney World, and I think kind of similar to Scat Cat Cafe. I think going out to Scat Cat Lounge for like a date night, that's pretty nice.
Here's the French Quarter pros and cons. The pros, it's a reasonable price for a beautiful resort where you can get amazing beignets. The cons, it's only bus transportation to the parks and the theming isn't very Disney. It's also far from other Disney parks. Still not sure? Let's get some final thoughts.
Overall, French Quarter is a good resort. It's not terrible. It's not the nicest resort. That's why it's moderate. It's in the middle. However, when I think about Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside, I just kind of loop them together because they technically are one big resort. It's close to Disney Springs, which is great food options. That gives it a nice plus. However, it only has bus transportation, and for me, that's not really what I'm looking for. I want more modes of transportation. Also, this resort isn't super close to any of the other Disney parks, so if you're trying to get the most out of your trip and be in the parks from sunup until sundown, this may not be the resort for you.
This was one of the first resorts I ever got to stay in. Like, some of my first big Disney memories were here, and I love it. I still love it. I recently stayed last December, and I was not sure. I was like kind of nervous, like, is it the same going back? And yes, it is. I still love it. It's very small. I just think it's beautiful. I love the additions, the little sprinkles of Princess Tiana and the other princesses around the resort. I would choose this resort. It's probably in my top 5. I mean, I really like this, and I'm not just saying it for the video. I love French Quarter.
Overall, French Quarter is a big time favorite, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. You get some really great theming. You get Mickey beignets. I feel like I could just end it right here because you get Mickey beignets, and that in and of itself is kind of reason to stay at French Quarter.
I don't love the rustic, Riverside situation. I much prefer the New Orleans proper, the city, you know what I mean? So I think that's why I like French Quarter better. French Quarter isn't like, I've got to stay at French Quarter because they've got this. It's like, I should stay at French Quarter because they are attached to other things. Like, there's a sister resort that I can go to, which means I can try double the things, and it's right next to Disney Springs, which means I can have a fun night out, a bar crawl. A Disney Springs bar crawl. Sign me up.
I've realized that I've said all positive things about this during this entire filming moment. However, I don't think I would ever choose Port Orleans French Quarter. It doesn't stick out to me as a favorite. I like to visit there for the food. I do. But staying there, it's not a favorite of mine. Moderate hotels used to be a lot more reasonably priced, and now they are expensive, and French Quarter is no different. You can find reasonable-ish rooms, but it's just so expensive to stay at Disney World. I think I'd rather stay somewhere else and visit this hotel. It doesn't stick out to me as special enough for the price. I'd rather stay off property for cheaper, or in like an all-star for cheaper, or stay somewhere a little more special like Animal Kingdom Lodge for a little more expensive, is my take.
Remember, we have so many reviews on our website at AllEars.net. These reviews are, the sole purpose is to help you make decisions for your Disney vacation, whether that's restaurants that you're trying to decide to eat at, hotels you're trying to decide if it's right for you and your family. We have it all on our website. Go check them out. They will help you. Also, please leave reviews for other people. If you've stayed somewhere and thought it was really great, if you've stayed somewhere and didn't have a very magical experience, let us know too, because that's also important so that other people can make their decisions. So go read our reviews. Go leave a review. Go leave a review. Thanks.
If you're looking for fast transportation to the parks, you're not going to find it at the Port Orleans French Quarter. But if you're looking for a moderate price and a pretty hotel, this might be a good fit for you. Of course, keep in mind that what's good for one person might not be good for you, but that's why we research and review to help you make the best decision for you. Want more opinions? Do a search on AllEars.net for Port Orleans French Quarter Resort, and you are going to be blown away by the info you find. For the rest of you, how would you vote? If you've been there, we want to know. Let us know in the comments. This is Chris for AllEars.net. See you next time.